Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm with Celine Foelmli. Foelmli.
Fully.
Foelmli.
Yeah, you are very good.
Thank you. And we're here today to talk about the psychology of moving abroad. Celine, I know you are the director and founder of Compass Coaching here in Singapore. For those who don't know you and the audience, who are you and what sort of work do you focus on?
Yes, thank you for the invitation, Jan. And yes, I'm happy to introduce myself. My name, yeah, you mentioned Celine Foelmli, and I have been in Singapore for the last 23 years. So I arrived in 2002, and I'm a coach. And I do coach people who are executive, and many of them are expats. But I also coach some of my clients are entrepreneur, like spouse following their partner in Singapore and setting up their own business.
Yeah. That mix of clientele is really interesting. And so when it comes to the psychology of moving abroad, I think you probably see lots of different examples across those different types of clients of people who are coming and going. But you yourself have also been an expat for many, many years.
Yes.
And so I think I would love to hear a bit about your personal journey. And so I think you mentioned you've been in many, many countries already, including Singapore. So maybe tell us about a moment there where you feel like you had this recognition that, oh, I'm no longer the person that I was, when I left maybe Switzerland or another country.
Yes. So, yeah, the beginning was very bumpy, and mainly because of the language, I would say. Uh, Something that truly made a difference is when I realized that I should stop comparing my own country and Singapore. So taking each places like a special place.
Yeah. How did you feel about, I guess, Singapore and Switzerland? What do you think was sort of the biggest difference that you noticed?
Well, it was so different because of the climate, the culture, and also something that was very different is that you lose a little bit your um, emotional support,
Oh, yeah.
and also the way people recognize you in the society. It's like you fall in the middle of Singapore and you are nobody.
Yeah. Very destabilizing. I definitely want to talk about that in a bit. But so you've been here, more than 20 years now. You told me you managed to, raise a family yourself, and now your son is abroad, right, and living his own life. And so I'm curious, you know, how has that been for you? How does that feel as a parent? And do you have recommendations for other, potential expats who are maybe dealing with the same thing? They're abroad at the same time that their kids are now abroad. Any recommendations for those sorts of expats?
Yes, of course. Yeah, when our son went away, we I think my husband shared also the same experience. We were like sad.
Yeah.
We were happy and we were also proud. So we were proud that we somehow that we did a good job, and he felt really confident to go overseas and
Yeah.
to pursue his dream. And also we felt sad because we will miss him so much. And also I would say so happy that he has a dream and something that some interest in life,
Yeah.
and that he was really motivated to do something by his own for himself.
Yeah, that's really nice. Did you did you feel maybe like you could prepare him better because you had sort of gone on this journey on your own, or were you sort of like, it's your own journey to take. Good luck.
Yes, as a coach, I have learned so much about the empty nester.
Yes.
And I'm lucky that I have two sisters who have been in this situation before, so they have seen their kids flying away before me. I saw also many of my friends who had children before me, so I did observe quite well those situations.
Mental prep.
Exactly. So my recommendation for every parent is to be prepared. So somehow 3 or 4 years before I knew my children will leave, I started also to prepare. I started to work much more as they became
okay.
more independent.
Yeah.
So I made me very busy, and I also, when you withdraw yourself from them, it allows them to take charge things and become more independent. So I think this is something that kind of helped to prepare them. And I think also another thing is that I really often left them at my parents and my in-laws during the holidays without us, and they went for camp or an experiment life without us before their leaving home.
Oh,
So
that's super
I
interesting.
think it's some recommendation that I would give it's this, but as a coach, usually we don't give any recommendation. It's
That's
not
right.
part of the coaching
Right,
process.
This is speaking in person with the personal hat.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, let's put the coach hat on. And this is something that you mentioned, you know, when you got dropped into the middle of Singapore, right? And you felt like, oh my God, like I'm, you know, I'm sort of this whole new person, right? Nobody here knows me. That can be such, I think, a destabilizing experience. And so I guess in your practice, right, especially maybe with those sort of executive expats, right, who are coming to a new place, maybe they've defined themselves their whole, you know, life so far by their career. Um, what are some patterns that you notice in these folks when they get dropped into a new place? Like, why does it feel so, you know, destabilizing to be in a new place?
I think one common thing that I see in expat is very often they come to really diverse places. And when they reach to Singapore, they leave behind all this social recognition that they have in their own country.
Yeah.
In their own country, they maybe attended a school or uni, or they went for a master in certain universities. When they reach here in Singapore, they might be in a team of people where nobody knows where this university is whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then they get with colleagues who are coming from Cambridge, Oxford, or whatever prestigious universities, and it can really feel intimidating somehow.
Interesting.
So it's like you compete in a different category, like it would be in sports.
Yeah.
Or when you play in your home club and then you move overseas and then you have to play against international
That's a great
team.
analogy. Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating.
So sometimes it can feel intimidating, and there is also another aspect is the language.
Oh,
When English is not your native language, it can create some loss of confidence. Because in your country, you are very well articulated. People are really listening to you closely. Then if you speak in a different language and you start to not to find your the vocabulary that you want, etc., etc., you might feel stupid.
Yes, all the time,
All
especially at the beginning. Oh my God.
And then it can undermine your confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I think language is a very strong part of identity.
Yeah. 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 And this is something that, is always sort of a dividing line for me, right? When it comes to language. I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like, lots of expats, especially the ones who, want to be thoughtful, they're going to do their best to learn the local language on day one. Maybe they'll go to language classes and they're doing their best to assimilate, right? But I'm curious, because everybody has their own personality, they come with their own roots, traditions, and cultures. Have you ever noticed, someone trying to assimilate either too quickly or too much and they lose themselves in the process? Like, how do you navigate, trying to become one with the culture versus giving up, part of who you are?
Yes, I think it's very interesting what you says because I think starting a life overseas and with the intention to integrate, you shouldn't really lose yourself. I think it's very important to keep your own identity. And even though you will learn and experiment so many new things, that you will create a new version of yourself. But you losing yourself and your identity can really create some troubles somehow.
Yeah. And so this is actually, another sort of thing that popped up for me is for people, I have expat friends, right? And a lot of them will tell me, oh, I don't feel settled. I don't feel like this is my home. And this can happen even after they've lived somewhere for years. And so I guess under this framework, right, that you've been building, it would be because they don't have the right goals set for themselves. They're sort of misaligned on how they see themselves.
Exactly. It's what I was about to say. It's very much a question of misalignment,
Right.
not a question of capability.
Okay, that's very interesting. And so I actually want to go back to something that you mentioned before, right? So there's folks who maybe they don't feel that settled after a while. Maybe it's been a year or two after they've been in a new location. And there's these natural highs and lows, right, with the relocation. And you mentioned, some folks might start feeling depressed or anxious. How do you know that you're slipping into that, right, as an expat? Because I remember, the first couple of times that I moved, it's like you feel like you're going through these emotional roller coasters all the time. And sometimes you can feel quite sad or lonely. But how do you know when someone is sort of slipping into more of a depressive state or facing anxiety versus just normal relocation emotions?
Well, I think when people have like sleeping problems and
Oh, it's interesting.
I mean there is many symptoms I would say that can arise.
Yeah.
And such, yes, as the sleep, as not feeling joy anymore in activities that you used to have, losing interest in appetite, and not being able to kind of have your normal daily life somehow. And yes, when some people really feel depressed, and yes, it's this is something that can happen.
Yeah.
I would say that amongst the list of things, if there is 2 or 3 things happening together,
Uh-huh.
I would really recommend to take action and ask for some support.
Okay, very interesting. And so once people find themselves in this sort of situation, what do you find is most helpful? What do you recommend to them, their first step to do or action to take? Um, or conversely, what do you find, maybe on social media like TikTok, where people have recommendations for expats all the time? What do you find is really unhelpful out there?
Okay. Well, I will start with that, and then I will bounce back on the better solution.
Okay, very good, very good.
Yes, what I found really unhelpful is that on the social media they promote a lot of quick fix. They are purposely done to be provocative and to hook people who are in this situation. So it's very easy to get hooked into this type of things. So they will tell you, the method Quay, everything is good. I'm feeling well. You say this 10 times, 10 times every night, and then you will feel good again. Or you have like a special recipe to make. I don't know, 6 figures
All abroad, yeah, yeah, yeah.
working from your sofa at home
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
you are watching TV and doing the dishes and all these kind of things. Okay, we can believe in that and try and lose time with it, and then maybe realize, but maybe we will be in a deeper hole, and we will time has passed, and then yes, you are maybe in a worse situation than.
Very
Yes.
interesting. So okay, so that's things that are unhelpful. What do you
Unhelpful.
what do you find that's more helpful? What do you sort of, deliver in your practice?
Well, what I would recommend, of course, is not to wait to be at this stage. So, of course, if you're in the state that you described earlier, I recommend support.
Yeah.
What I would recommend to an expat who reach to Singapore is to very soon create a routine in their life that they can rely on, with good sleep, exercising regularly, at least 3 times a week, and yes, sleep, exercising, and food, to have a healthy diet. And there is a lot of choices in Singapore.
Oh yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
like a paradise for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, good. So that's sort of, an expat who is arriving somewhere new, sort of what I'm hearing is get your routine, in place very quickly. Right?
Yes,
Work the time. Work.
but also very importantly, it's connection with people. Connection with people is also very important. So the thing I mentioned before, it's more like personal needs.
Sure.
Then your social need, I think it's important to create a network of people who that can be an emotional support for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Finding friends, colleagues. We must be careful that to diversify it, not to have only colleagues from work, but also we have colleagues, have friends outside work. I will recommend to be part of special community that can be a local community, or even in international clubs that we have, like in Singapore.
Yeah.
There is many choices.
Yeah, and I think this is, the best this is why you move abroad in many senses, right? Is to build a new community, make new people, not just hang out with the people that you might have hung out with in your home country. So I think that diversity is important.
Yes, and having friends who are expats like you, sharing the
Yes.
same integration,
Difficulties.
yeah, the difficulties, but also joy.
Yes, 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 yes. It's true. Okay, well, thank you so much, Celine, for joining us. I have a question for all of the guests on this particular season, and it is a letter, right, that you would write to yourself the day before you moved abroad for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would be in this letter?
Yes, I think the first thing would be prepared to never come back.
That's a very good one.
Yes, because you live with one suitcase for 9 months, and I'm here after 7 years.
Oh, that's
And so, yeah, one another thing would be, yeah, keep your learning, your beginner mindsets alive. So it's important to always believe that there is new things to learn, and that you actually, more I'm getting older, more I tell myself that I don't know anything. So, and since I'm in coaching, I really try to nourish this beginner mindset, and because it's really what bring a lot of opportunity in your life, not only professional, but yes, for traveling around, meeting new people, have an open mind. I think it's very important.
No, it's a fantastic bit of advice. Okay, well, thank you so much, Celine. Really appreciate you going on.
Thank you so much. Yeah.